But you don't know this. But you don't know this virus. It's new, it's different. It mutates and goes in different directions with a different strain of itself. So whether I'm present or absent, the Executive Council of the Nation of Islam must call our scientists. Come and let's sit down. Our virologists, our epidemiologists, those of us who know the science. We cannot let them bring anything to us that we don't dissect.
And we are still dissecting.
Right. I was going to say in the Brother Lau's voice. Oh my goodness. Welcome, 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 everyone. Thursday Night Talks. Listen, we are back. We are, listen, I don't even know how to describe today, but all I can tell you is that we are striving. We are moving fast and furious, and we got something wonderful, exciting to talk about this evening. We got a really special guest that we have here. So before I even get into anything more, you know what I like to do. I tell y'all to like and share, because that's how we get the message out. Okay.
That's right.
So like and share. Okay. Go get your aunties, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins. Everybody can benefit from what we're going to share this evening. So as we also get started, we're on IG and we're on YouTube. And hey, man, listen, she's back. Maya's back.
Maya's back. Hey, Maya.
Hey, this is a gorgeous picture. Very beautiful. But listen, we're welcoming everyone in. And this evening, we have another co-host that we have, Brother Lau. You know our Brother Lau. We love Brother Lau. But Brother Lau couldn't be here this evening. So we have a co-host stepping in. So he'll be going to help us take this program through for this evening. I am your sister, Michelle. I am your moderator for this evening. And again, I am super excited that it's Thursday. I'm just saying, it's a good day. It's almost Friday. Anyway, so as I'm bringing in everyone else, I'm going to be able to pass baton to Sister Kalila this evening, because normally I do loud, but Sister Kalila goes next. Okay. She's doing the I go next dance. Okay. But before I leave you, please like, share. Again, it's going to be a really good program this evening, and we're really excited to have everyone here. Thank you. And if I didn't say it in the beginning, because I don't think I did, good evening, assalamu alaikum. Blessings to everyone that's coming in. Again, so glad that everyone is coming in. Southern Green Coalition team, that's my tip off to you. Our small little team here, you know what we got to do. Pats on the back, but we do what needs to get done. And on that note, I will now turn it over to Sister Kalila.
Praises be to Allah. Thank you so much, Sister Michelle. I want to first start off in the most holy name of Allah, always bearing witness that there is no God but He, who came in a person of Master Farad Muhammad, to all praises are due. And I further bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is our Messiah. And I also bear witness that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the champion.
That's right.
Who wear all the belts.
Come on.
There's no one like he. And I can give, look, we don't gamble, but I'll take Brother Tony's money and gamble with it, because but
I have to go into my vest pocket.
But I guarantee you follow him, you will not follow another. I greet you in the greeting words of peace in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum.
Wow.
Listen, this show is going to be a very impactful show. For those of you who do not know what this month is, this is the month of Ramadan. This is our holy month. This is the month of purification, blessings, healing, forgiveness.
That's right.
Atonement, right?
Yeah.
All the things that you want to let go. This is the perfect month to not only let go, but receive multiple blessings within that month. Okay. And our guest is going to go into specific detail in regards to what this month is about and how you can heal from this month. See, a lot of times we always go through the rituals, you know, as the ministers say, this month is not a month for losing weight. All right. This month is for purification of the soul. Okay. So our guest is going to go into it. If you have not liked and shared, please, I encourage you to like and share because you want to get the fulfillment of what this month represents. It's not just a Muslim month. This is a month for everyone. Everyone can participate in this month of Ramadan.
That's
so
right.
I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to pass the baton to my dear brother Tony. Okay, we're doing the baton now. Don't mess it up.
Don't mess it up.
We're going to do the baton.
Don't mess it up.
Yeah, we're doing the baton.
I'm doing it this way.
All right.
Here we go. Now,
all right. There you go.
Did I make you happy? Let me begin properly. Peace, Hotep, Abaragani, free the land. Assalamu alaikum. In the name of the one God who bears many names, some know him as Jah, others know him as Jehovah, others know him as Dios, some know him as Bon Dieu, some know him as the great wind or the great spirit. I bear witness to the oneness of Allah who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. I am forever thankful to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I thank them both for the Messiah of Allah's Christ in our midst, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Assalamu alaikum, family, and Ramadan Mubarak. Ramadan Mubarak means blessed Ramadan. And Ramadan Kareem, as you heard the response, means Ramadan is good or Ramadan is generous. And there are other, of course, meanings to the name or in the word Kareem. But it is a blessed honor to serve you as the 7th Region Coalition to help save lives. This is the month of Ramadan where we as Muslims, we are engaged in this blessed month in a fast. And the fast is not just from food and drink during the daylight hours, but from negative thinking. We want to engage in positive thinking throughout this month, setting goals, as Sister Kalila mentioned it, on multiple levels. This is the month of refinement. And as Muslims, in the tradition of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, we are inviting our community, no matter what your religion is, no matter what ideology you may claim, we're inviting you to come and partake with us so that we could become purified together. Our guest this evening will, of course, go more into the purpose of Ramadan and how it can be a blessing and a healing for all of us. And so it's a blessed honor to be here serving with the rest of you in this 7th Region Coalition.
Yes.
And I'm going to pass the baton. You don't have to put out your hands, Brother Anthony. I just did it because I want to make Sister Kalila happy. But Brother Anthony, I pass it on to you, and I want everyone to be on the lookout for Brother Anthony.
Yay!
That's right.
He will be hosting a new program through the 7th Region Coalition. 7th Region, the 7th Region, the next generation, brain food. And I'm going to pass it on over to you, Brother Anthony. You could discuss a little bit more. And, of course, just give you a little spill, my brother.
Yes, sir. First, I would like to start off by saying that I bear witness that there is no God but Allah who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. And I further bear witness that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is his exalted and risen Christ. And I further I bear witness even more that that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the Messiah in our midst, the leader, teacher, and guide that will get us through to the other side. And I would like to greet you all with the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Kareem, sir.
And I would just like to give my short take on sort of what I've gotten from my experience through Ramadan over the 3 years that I've been in the Nation of Islam, and just the fact that it will bring you closer to your creator. And it's actually something that is prescribed by your creator. And when you look at the list of medications that we get from our local doctors, the one thing that they won't recommend to you is fasting. So why not try the prescription or the treatment that your creator prescribed for you? And the things that we do, we have to fight against our own ignorance. We have to fight against our contemplation,
Right.
disease, your own willpower, the things that you are have a lack of confidence within yourself. And I just want to just wish everybody who is striving to practice on the journey to perfecting themselves, blessed Ramadan. And to mention this, the Next Generation page, yes, we will be doing a segment under the platform 7th Region Coalition. And I just thank you all for even giving me the opportunity to come on here and share my thoughts and experiences with you all.
Awesome.
Praises be
Awesome.
to
Praise be
Allah.
to Allah. Thank you so much, Brother Anthony.
Look,
Now
look,
listen.
they thought that Brother Loud drunk the holy
What?
water.
The holy water.
and went 20 years back.
Praise be to
Oh my
Allah.
God, he's transformed. Oh my God, that's
And he has hair now.
He has hair now.
Oh my goodness.
Praise be to Allah.
So listen, let's get this party started, right? We've got a very special guest, and we're about to bring him on, and we're so very honored. I mean, this brother, I'm about to go into his bio, and we're gonna bring him on now. But this brother is amazing, and when I go through his accolades, you'll feel the same way. And I don't want to get too far into it, but I want to absolutely bringing him on right now, so everybody get all excited. We're bringing on Brother Demetric Muhammad to our 7th Region Coalition Thursday night talks. So welcome, Brother Demetric. So happy that you're here. Praise be to Allah.
Thank you so much. I'm very honored to be here.
Absolutely. Listen, before we even do anything, before you even say anything, I'm going to read your bio, Brother Demetric, and I hope I can do you some justice. So listen up, audience. This is what we have. Brother Demetric Muhammad is a student minister in the Nation of Islam under the leadership of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He serves as a member of Minister Farrakhan's research team. He has written and published 15 books. As a student minister, Brother Demetric has traveled to more than 50 cities to evangelize, host seminars, and deliver addresses to schools, prisons, radio audiences, and television audiences. In June of 2008, Brother Demetric delivered the National Sunday Lecture webcast from the Nation of Islam's flagship and headquarters, Mas Mariam. This lecture was described by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan as a perfect representation. Most recently, Brother Demetric was an opening speaker for the 2019 historic Savior's Day message in Chicago, Illinois. As a writer, Brother Demetric received high honors when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan chose his article entitled "We Are Louis Farrakhan" to be published in the centerfold of the Final Call newspaper, a space reserved for Minister Farrakhan's weekly articles. The title of this lecture has gone on to become social media's hashtag "We Are Farrakhan" that is used by a growing mass of Twitter, Facebook, Instagram subscribers who have chosen to stand in solidarity with Minister Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. In February 2019, he completed the book Manhood Principles, Parables, Concepts, and Characteristics from the Holy Quran. Brother Demetric tours the country delivering lectures and presentations around the general theme, Defending Farrakhan. In January of 2020, he completed a very important project entitled Didn't y'all kill Malcolm?
Mm.
That has been dedicated to the purpose of ending the myth that the Nation of Islam killed Malcolm X. It is the first book published by a registered member of the Nation of Islam on the subject of the assassination of Malcolm X. Brother Dimitri joined the Nation of Islam at the age of 15. Wow. And has served in various capacities within the Nation of Islam. He has always been involved in representing the teachings since he joined the Nation of Islam at a very young age. He was the campus representative for the Nation of Islam during his college days at the University of Mississippi. He has been an assistant student minister of Muhammad's Mosque number 55 in Memphis, Tennessee since 2004, under the tutelage of Minister Anthony Muhammad. Brother Dimitri is also a regular lecturer at the Nation of Islam annual Savior's Day Convention in Chicago, conducting workshops on the Nation of Islam theology and the history of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Aside from lecturing, publishing, and research, Brother Dimitri has worked professionally for more than 10 years in production management in the optics, plastics, and furniture industries. Brother Dimitri also serves in the Nation of Islam prison ministry. He has lectured in federal, state, and local correctional institutions throughout the Mid-South. He has addressed inmate audiences in Legacy Norfolk and Concord Correctional Institutions, which are prisons that house Malcolm Little, to become Malcolm X, who went on to become the Minister Malcolm X of the Nation of Islam at Muhammad's Mosque number 7 in New York. He has also been a guest lecturer in the historic Arctic. I can't say it.
Attica.
Thank you. State Correctional Facility, Arctica, New York. I should know this because I went to school very close there. He has done numerous radio, television, and podcast programs. Oh my Lord, Brother Dimitri, you are amazing. So as I say that and I bring you on, I welcome you to the Seventh Reading Coalition Thursday Night Talks. And I just want to, again, allow you a moment to kind of just give us an introduction for yourself, to the audience, and kind of so that we can get to know you. And then we've got a few little questions that we would like to dig into to kind of get some information about, our topic, healing in the month of Ramadan.
Well, my dear brothers and sisters, I am so very happy and so very honored to have the great privilege and opportunity to be here with you this evening on the 7th Region Coalition Thursday night podcast. And I have to say that I never like hearing my bio read, because as a student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I'm much more comfortable in talking about my teacher, and nothing that we have done, it all pales in comparison to the work that needs to be done.
Right.
But
Yes,
I think all of us would agree that we continue to press forward in this work, hoping to give a good account of ourselves before Allah, whom we have been taught will examine us. And so we are grateful and thankful to be a brother to all of the believers, and to be a brother to those who struggle for freedom, justice, and equality within our respective communities. And I'm very, again, happy to be here tonight. I have great love and affinity for the 7th region. Spent a lot of time in and out of Tampa and the central Florida area, and I believe we were blessed to be in Miami and Fort Lauderdale just a few years ago.
Yes, sir.
And so as things appear to be relaxing in terms of travel restrictions, we hope to, by Allah's grace, revisit the great state of Florida in person. So again, I'm very happy.
I was going to say, praise be to
I
Allah.
look forward to hosting you, beloved.
You just missed one beautiful city.
What city is that?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Yes. Well, you know, I was blessed to spend time with your student minister at Savior's Day, student minister Nolan.
Yes.
Beautiful brother. And he and I have had conversations about us visiting the great city of Jacksonville. Heard so many wonderful things about the area and would love to visit there, see the believers, see our people, and to always be in the great state of Florida.
Absolutely. Praises be to Allah. Thank you so much, beloved. And I'm pretty sure that Brother Nolan, as well as our believers here and our community, will love to see you here as well.
Now,
All right.
isn't Jacksonville also the city of the great Sister Barbara Muhammad? Isn't Sister Barbara in Jacksonville?
That's my mom.
Really?
Yes.
That's your biological mother?
That's my biological mom.
Wow.
I would bring her in here, but she's gonna be like, don't put me on camera.
Listen, I call Sister Barbara the patron saint of all Nation of Islam writers and authors.
Oh,
So I was so happy to see her at Savior's Day. I'm always happy and very honored to see her. So please extend to her my love and greetings.
yes, and I would definitely do that. She's gonna be like, "Oh, why you didn't tell me that brother?" So she gonna, but I would definitely do that. I would definitely do. She's actually right in the back. So
all praises due to Allah.
Look, she actually is on the other podcast with Brother Minister Ava. So she trumps out. She does our replay.
I understand.
Right?
I understand.
Right in that order, right?
Right.
So, all right. So I don't know who wants. I've got my questions. I don't know who wants to go first, but
yeah, I definitely would like to go first because when you, Brother Dimitri, your bio is so profound, and I can see where, because I have to use this word greatness, right? You have to shy away from this bio because it's so built on just principles of our Islam, right? But discovering Islam at the age of 15, right? Because I was born in the Nation of Islam, as you know, my mom is Sister Barbara. I was born in the Nation of Islam, but you actually discovered the Nation of Islam at the age of 15. How did the world look in your eyes? And how did you channel your research and knowledge, towards Islam?
Well, I can't say in truth that I discovered it. At that time, my father was studying the teachings. And he and I and my family come from a Baptist church background in the Deep South. So in the Deep South, anything other than Christianity is viewed as an anomaly and is viewed with hostility. And so as he began to study and to come into Islam, he introduced it to me and other members of our family. I was just really the only one that came to believe in it along with him. So I can't really take credit for discovering it, but Brother Tony knows that during those years, during our coming of age, if you will,
yes, sir,
it was a lot easier for a young brother or sister to have affinity for Islam because it was so saturated in the music of our generation. During those days before hip hop became turned and weaponized against the Black community, I'd like to say that the early hip hop artists of the 1980s and the early 1990s, they really worked as unofficial recruiters for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in the rebuilding of the Nation of Islam, because throughout their music, they echoed many of the themes and the messages that the minister would say in his lectures. So as a young person in those days, if you went to a mosque, or as in my case, it was a study group, and you heard a local student minister, then you would leave and you might put on your headphones and listen to your favorite rapper. Well, they were basically saying the same things that you just heard at the mosque or the study group. It's a lot different today because what we would call conscious music has been pushed to the margins.
That's right.
And music that reflects self-destructive ideas and concepts has been pushed to the center. There was always artists who were not interested in sharing an uplifting message in their music, but they were in the margins once upon a time. And conscious music was at the center.
Right.
But the enemies of the rise of our people, they understood, I believe, before many of us understood, how the minister's work of rebuilding the nation was being helped and aided by this new burgeoning musical phenomenon known as hip hop or rap. So hip hop helped me to see as a young person that Islam was something worth my time and attention. Not only something worth my time and attention, but something that had currency among other young people, something that was popular, something that was cool, something that was in vogue, you see. And so I can't take credit as it being a discovery and something I just followed. There were elements within my environment, my father, music, certainly the things going on in the world. And, you know, you ask about channeling abilities toward Islam. You know, I don't really claim to have any abilities that I have channeled toward Islam. I just see it as me having done what I could do to help. And we all have a duty and a responsibility to help. And we can help in many different ways. Some of us can help in ways that may appear to be difficult for others to help, and vice versa. So even though you may read off a bio of having written so many books, but I don't consider myself a writer. I never wanted to be a writer. I never wanted to be an author or a publisher. I never really even wanted to be a minister. These are just things that happened as a result of falling in love with the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and wanting to be a helper to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And so
yes, sir,
we are what we are as a result of that, but not as a result of having necessarily pursued it, but it just kind of happened.
Praises be to Allah. You know, I can bear witness to, look, Public Enemy, Eric B. and Rakim.
That's right. That's right.
Look,
all of the 5%ers.
All of the 5%ers. Right.
You know, in the music at that time.
Right. Absolutely.
If I could say this, I wasn't on the program last week because I was at my my mother's viewing. She passed away recently, but
wow.
I saw may Allah be pleased. But I saw my cousin Willie there, and it just brought back some memories. He's the first one to say to me, "Assalamu alaikum."
Wow.
He's from New York, and in New York, the language of Islam is in the streets. And what was going on at that time in 1988, 1989, it was the language of Islam was coded in the music, Brother Dimitri. And that is what had many of us ask questions. Who is Minister Farrakhan? Who is Malcolm X? Let me go out and do some research. And those that went out and did the research and started studying more, and voila, many of us are here. Many of us, even if we did not become registered in the Nation of Islam, it impacted us to do positive things in our community and devote ourselves to things that, how can I put it, the average person would not normally devote themselves to education, to the improvement and upliftment of our communities. So we owe a great deal of gratitude to those who paved the way for us.
Absolutely.
And you have to add to that, we can't forget either, Brother Tony, that at that time, the work of the minister caused him to really become, at a certain point, on every major talk show and news program in the country.
That's right.
This was at a period of time before mainstream America knew that they could not defeat the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in an interview or an argument.
That's right.
And all of their efforts to ridicule the minister, to mock the minister, to really demagnetize the minister from the love and the attention of the people, it all failed, you see. So there was a time, and this is significant because things shifted.
Right.
There was a time when you could just turn your television to a different channel and you might run into someone interviewing Minister Farrakhan. Or you might run into some news coverage of something Minister Farrakhan had said. But the Million Man March, in my humble view, proved to the media and the government that the minister was such a man who has the anointing of God on him. Because when God's anointing is on you, you can have powerful and formidable enemies who have powerful and formidable weapons, and they all fail. So they were working really hard to make sure that the Million Man March was a failure.
Right.
Come on.
This was the height of the media's antagonistic posture against the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. But as they say, and the rest is history, because nearly 2 million Black men and some women showed up October 16, 1995 at the minister's call. After that, a marked shift took place in media coverage, and it got such that the media would ignore the minister. The media was involved in a conspiracy to hide the minister from the public. And so I remember it may have been maybe 5-10 years after the Million Man March, people that I knew and people who knew me would ask me the question, man, is the minister all right? I haven't seen him. And I would be thinking to myself, the minister is as busy as ever. He just had one of his most prolific years ever in his ministry, yet because the media coverage had shifted and the policies and editorial boardrooms had shifted, because they were only covering the minister in the early years to try to expose him as a fraud, to try to mock and ridicule him. And since they failed at that, they say, well, we're not going to cover him at all. And so you ended up in those days, young people could get access to the minister, not through cable, not through the internet, which didn't really exist, but they could just find him on their local station.
Right. And listen, that brings me to another question, because I have to be honest. When I was in high school, I mean, I was in New York. I was around a bunch of 5%ers. That's where everybody was going. And, I only came across a poster that my brother had. And the reason why I'm saying this is because that's what led me, right? He had a poster of Malcolm X, with him holding I think it was a gun that says by any means necessary. Yes. And I thought to myself, what Black man is bold enough to make that statement? And so I went to school and I ran to my only Black social studies. Thank you, teacher. And I said, can I do a bio on Malcolm X? He said, sure. He was all excited. I guess I didn't know what. And when I did my little research and I started to learn about the Nation of Islam, then I started to, and I was about maybe 15 or 16 at the time. I was starting to I didn't realize it, but I was starting to learn. But that leads me to my question, because your research is so precise. And I want to, I know that, you've done a lot, but what led you in that direction? Because for me, it was like, I need to know. Like back in the day, I was like, oh, somebody said this. Well, show it to me in the Quran. Show me, where did you find that? Where did you? And so I would, go on this search and looking for this information. So that was just for me. But what led you to start this work that you did, and and being recognized, by the minister. I mean, it's what you do is so vitally important to our nation. But what led you in that direction?
I think it has a lot to do again with the environment that I grew up in.
Right.
I don't know if you know, coming from the East Coast, there is a lot of what we call consciousness, or I think the new terminology is wokeness.
Well,
Right.
And so that is a phenomenon that was germane to many of America's major cities, many of America's major urban metropolises that grew to be homes of Black people who had left the Deep South during what Isabel Wilkerson writes about very powerfully in terms of the Great Migration. Well, but you still had the South, and you still had our people in the South. And so many of the phenomena that were taking place in the North and in both coastal regions was not necessarily popular phenomenons in the South. And so Islam never, prior to 1975, had a strong presence in the Deep South, which is where I was born and raised. So for me, my earliest endeavors in research of the teachings was to arm myself properly to be able to defend my belief in the teachings against family and friends. Because I was in a region where if you were anything other than a Bible believing Christian, your soul was deemed condemned to hell. And so people would hurt you to help you.
Right.
So that's my earliest foray into really looking beyond the surface in an effort to vindicate and to prove what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Farrakhan teach, because I was in a hostile environment as it relates to my new and infantile belief in the teachings.
Beautiful.
Wow.
I want to talk about this viral phrase that you created, right? First of all, we are Farrakhan. I look, that I think that went, of course, global, right? And Brother Demetri, did you know when you actually spoke that out and just put it in the atmosphere, right? In the universe, did you ever know that that particular phrase, will become viral? How did you feel about that when you was like, they're on t-shirts now, they're on billboards now, they're on some people's wearing it, hats now, So what was your take on that, and how did you come up with that idea, we are Farrakhan?
That's a great question, because my mind goes to when I was invited to speak in both Norfolk, Virginia, and Portsmouth, Virginia, and they were selling these, wristbands. I have one on here now, and it said, "We are Farrakhan," and I didn't know that it even existed, and so I really did not have any idea of the reach of it. Of course, we live in an age of hashtags and tweets and Facebook posts. I mean, this period of time in American culture and global culture is marked by the extraordinary influence and impact of social media.
Right.
But I did not have, there were no indications coming across my desk that it had become so significant. And you have to understand that I never wrote the article with any intention that it would even appear in the final call. I
Yes.
wrote it because at that time we were writing and responding daily. We had a commitment that we just had made within our own selves to respond daily, because we were responding, but we did not have a mechanism for rapid response. So I kind of took it upon myself to be kind of a one person or one man rapid response kind of operation. And when I believe it was Jane Eisner who had wrote such a hate-filled screed against the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, that it just had to be responded to.
Right.
It just had to be reacted to. And so we wrote that article and came up with that title just based upon how we felt about what she said.
Right.
And
Yes,
how, from my vantage point, an attack on the minister is an attack on all of us.
That's
That's
right.
right.
And I don't just mean the little nation of Islam, but I mean the big nation of Islam.
That's right.
Right.
Some of
Right.
you will remember that in the mid 90s, the early 90s actually, Minister Ava, you mentioned Minister Ava,
Yes.
Brother Abdul Arif Muhammad, they filed a lawsuit against the New York Post
Yes, sir.
for slandering Minister Farrakhan. And the amount of what they were pursuing was the equivalent of what we have in our lessons as the population of the original nation all over the planet Earth, 4,400,000,000. And the message that they were communicating was that the value and the importance of who Louis Farrakhan is. He is integral and indispensable to the future and destiny of all original people all over the planet Earth. So the defense of him is the defense of all of us. And so this idea that I really strongly believe in, because especially where the Jewish controversy is concerned, there is the notion that you can be friends or you can be an enemy, pardon me, to Louis Farrakhan, but a friend to all the rest of us. And I fundamentally want to destroy that notion, because I want our people to understand that when we defend the minister, it's not like parishioners in a church standing up for their pastor.
Right.
This is not what that is.
Right.
But
right.
frequently, our defense of the minister is compartmentalized in the minds of people as such, because they see us defending the minister and they say, well, oh, they just defending their man. We understand that. But that's not really what this is.
Come on, teach.
There is no such thing that there could be enemies of Louis Farrakhan who are friends of all the rest, black, brown, red, and yellow people.
Right.
Fact about it is their hatred of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is because of his beneficial impact on all the rest of us whom they want to see destroyed.
That's right.
So saying we are Louis Farrakhan is a very pregnant statement, but it was my articulation of how I felt at that time and how I feel today.
Praises be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. I'm just gonna pause for a minute. I want to ask Brother Anthony, as being one of our youth on our panel this evening. Do you have a question for Brother Dimitri, Brother Anthony?
Well, right now, praise be to Allah, I am just in student mode and I'm downloading everything.
Praise be to Allah.
Listen, the minister said the best person to be is a student. So that is very.
But let me say, Brother Anthony, I follow you in social media and I'm so proud of you I know your
praise
father,
Brother, come on.
and he's such a beautiful brother and great helper to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and each of us who are parents of what they call nation babies.
Right.
We are always so happy when we see our children come into the nation and take their place and find their way in the work. There's a magnificent message that I share sometimes with my audiences in prison that was done by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in the city of Springfield, Massachusetts, called "What is the Purpose of God in the Creation of the Human Being?" And at a certain point in that magnificent message that the minister delivered, he was talking about how doesn't matter how devout, how pious, or how righteous parents are, you do not really have the power completely to make a righteous child.
That's right.
And he said that whenever you see a child adopting and accepting the way of righteousness as their way, you have to say all praise is due to Allah, because Allah has stepped in and intervened to produce a righteous child. So I just want to say, as your brother and as like an uncle, the brother of your father, that I'm very proud of you, and just want to offer words of encouragement for you to continue on your path to greatness.
Allahu Akbar. I appreciate the words that you have just spoken there, brother, and they are indeed motivational. And if it be the will of Allah, I will not stop progressing in this work. And I just hope to be around the gods for a very long time. All praise due to Allah.
All praise is due to Allah. Yes, sir.
Oh, that was so beautiful.
That was. I was making cry. I was like, oh, our little Anthony, our little Anthony. Oh.
Allahu Akbar. Yes, ma'am.
Dear family, we are 47 minutes into the program. If I could ask the next question.
Yes, absolutely.
How
Related.
long are we on for? Forgive me. Is this an hour, 2-hour program?
Well, we're going to try to make it an hour and a half this evening because of Ramadan.
No, we got to break fast soon.
That's right. That's right. That's
Exactly. Go ahead, Brother Tony.
But my question tonight, our topic tonight is on Ramadan and healing. How, Brother Dimitri, how is Ramadan related to the concept of healing in this holy month? We know that Ramadan is the month in which the Holy Quran was first in its infancy revealed to Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. But it wasn't until many years later that the Ramadan fast was introduced. And what we do as Muslims during this holy month is we read the Holy Quran cover to cover, and we try not to engage in negative thinking, negative conversations, definitely not profanity. But for yourself, especially from a personal reflection, how is Ramadan a time for healing?
Well, I look at Ramadan like this. Ramadan is an aspect of Allah, God's effort to heal the greatest injury that there has been, which is the breach between God and man. According to the Bible and the Quran, man took a fall. And so he has had an existence of being separate and distant from the God that created him. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said to us during the Ramadan prayer line conference call a few days ago, his message over the last few years has been such a blessing because it really christens the observance of Ramadan for all of us when we hear those words from our beloved minister. But he talked about getting close to Allah during the month of Ramadan. We don't realize sometimes, perhaps, that when our lives are not in close proximity to Allah,
Right.
that is a form of injury. It is a form of disease.
Right.
It is a form of illness.
Teach.
Because the farther distant we become from the presence of Allah, where we do not adopt the way of Allah in the way that we live our life, we put ourselves on the path of many painful negative outcomes that become markers of the fact that we have drifted far away from Allah. So Allah says in the Holy Quran, O you who believe, hold fast to the rope of Allah and be not disunited. Over and over again, the scriptures read as a overture of God to man to come close to him, to repair the torn relationship between God and man.
Right.
You know, Brother Tony, the Sunni Orthodox Muslims, they have a concept that describes the oneness of God known as Tawheed.
Yes, sir.
Frequently, however, Tawheed is discussed as an intellectual or academic component. It is discussed as the opposite of the Trinity in Christianity. Christians believe in a triune God, hence the Trinity, but in Islam, we believe in the oneness of God known as Tawheed.
Yes, sir.
But as I study the Quran, study the words of the Prophet, as they help me to bear witness to what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Farrakhan have taught to us, I begin to develop an appreciation for what I like to call ultimate Tawheed, which is the oneness of God and the believer, and how every ritual, every practice, every command, every law and statute that is contained within the religion of Islam is designed to produce a oneness between Allah, God, and the sincere believer. So much so that it was in one of the sayings of the Prophet in the Qudsi Hadith that the Prophet said that Allah has said that when my servants draw near to me, and he uses a term supererogatory, meaning above and beyond the minimum required. Allah says, when my servants draw near to me or seek nearness to me by going above and beyond the minimum of what is required of obedience, he said that I will become their eyes for seeing. I will become their ears for hearing. I will become their hands for doing. I will become their feet for walking. In other words, the believer has come into a beautiful oneness with his or her Lord.
Yes, sir.
And fasting and prayer are tools that we are given to help us to come close to Allah. During the month of Ramadan, certainly fasting and prayer are tools of physical healing.
Right.
Oftentimes, Muslims don't want to talk about the health benefits of fasting,
Right.
because they feel that it takes away the emphasis from the fact that Allah has said that the fast is for him. But I say that whatever Allah has commanded,
Come on, Brother Dimitri.
he has placed within the command that which will benefit those who are obedient to the command, whether we know what that benefit is at the time or not. we obey.
That's right.
Quran says we ought to be those who say we hear and we
obey.
obey.
Come on, teach.
But time and circumstances frequently reveal that Allah, in his infinite wisdom, gave us a certain command because he knew of certain conditions that would manifest in the future, and he wanted to spare and save the believer. So there are great health benefits to fasting, Ramadan fasting, and there are even more health benefits that push us toward healing in the kind of fasting that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us in How to Eat to Live, where we don't just break our fast at the setting of the sun, but we take 24 or 48 or 72 hours or more where we don't ingest any solid food to give to our bodies all the way down to the cellular level the opportunity to be free of toxins and for our immune system to come to our aid and begin to heal and repair and renew us.
Yes.
I remember somewhere, brother and sister, reading that some of the scientists had calculated using the rate of cellular death and regeneration, how many months and how many years it takes to get a new stomach, how many months and how many years it takes to get new kidneys, because old kidney cells die and new kidney cells replace them.
That's
We
right.
can't tell it because it's so seamless the way the God has made us.
Right.
But it raised the question, if we have all of this cellular renewal taking place, why does man and woman age the way that we do?
Right.
And so the Honorable Elijah Muhammad helps answer that when he writes in How to Eat to Live, that we dig our graves with our teeth. We don't know how to eat. We eat too much. We eat the wrong food. So he said, fast often to give the human body the opportunity to heal.
Right.
But when fasting is combined with prayer,
That's right. Come on.
you have not only the healing of the physical, but you have the healing of the spiritual. You know, Jesus told his disciples famously when they were embarking to exorcise demons from a certain man,
Yes, sir.
and the demons would not obey them. The demons did not recognize that they had authority. And so they went back and they asked Jesus, why would not the demons in this man obey us? And Jesus famously said, well, there are certain demons that can only be cast out through fasting and prayer. And when you think about what Jesus said, you realize he was not responding to the demon-possessed man. He was responding to the inadequately prepared disciples.
Right.
And so we are now challenged in all of our cities with going out of the four walls of our mosque or our study group or our church or our synagogue to confront demons, the presence of evil in the hood, the presence of evil in the barrio, the presence of evil in all of the ethnic enclaves where our people live.
Right.
We won't be effective if what Jesus is saying is right, if we don't first summon the spiritual power and the spiritual authority that fasting and prayer and devotion to Allah give to the sincere believer.
Right.
So this Ramadan is very, very powerful as a practice of two great spiritual disciplines, that of fasting and prayer, to serve as a healing of both the mind and spirit as well as the body.
Beautiful.
Well, I got a perfect next question for Brother Dimitri. It's because right before the show, we were talking about your Ramadan journal that you do every year, and the question that I had is that I had got some rave reviews. A sister in Fort Lauderdale, Sister Zia Muhammad, she purchased your book or the journal, and she said, "Oh, Sister Michelle, you have got to get the journal." And I was like, "What's going on?" And she said, "It's just laid out beautiful." She said the research that you put with the meanings. She said it was impactful. She was couldn't wait to dig into it. So now we're all going to be ordering your journal, because I wasn't aware of it. And when she put me onto it, I said absolutely. And I told her that you were going to be on the show. I said I'm going to ask him about the journal. So my question is, can you tell the audience what inspired you to produce the journal? And what benefits do you believe that someone can partake in it just by getting it and going through? Because we know Ramadan is, it's within a 30-day period. And each day, I believe you have something that's deep and meaningful to someone that may be new to Ramadan, or even if you're not new, it just kind of keeps you in the moment when things are happening. So if you can talk about that, that would be wonderful.
We began with our work with our brothers and sisters who are incarcerated, and we would every year in our work as a chaplain, an Islamic chaplain, we would have to organize the observance for hundreds of believers who are incarcerated. And a part of that process was to ensure that they had an information packet to guide them in their observance.
Right.
And, Ramadan in Islam is in many ways like Easter is and Christmas is in Christianity.
Right.
In Christianity, all of the so-called backsliding and wayward Christians come to church.
Right.
They may not come to church any other time of the year, but they show up for Easter, Christmas, sometime for Mother's Day. Well, in the mosques and the masjids, Ramadan is like that. It is an indicator that even if you've been very wayward, even if you've been rather irreligious, Ramadan, when it comes around, it summons all who have even an atom's weight of Islam in their heart. And so in my work, deal with many brothers and some sisters whose life has brought them to a place of confinement. And they awaken oftentimes there to want to come back to the deen. And so our work is to help facilitate that. And after a while of doing that, we realized that we had a lot that we were sharing with them that may be of benefit to those of us in the so-called free world. And so then we began to think about what would make for a good volume that we could make an annual offering to the believing community to help us get the most out of Ramadan. And along with that thought, the thought of how Ramadan is sometimes affectionately referred to as the month of the Quran, because this fasting and prayer of Ramadan is a kind of celebration, recognition, and acknowledgement of the revelation of the Holy Quran to Prophet Muhammad. Well, this year represents 1443 years, if memory serves me correctly, since that magnificent occurrence. Since that time in America, I believe that we have received that which the Quran was a sign of.
Yes, sir.
You see, to reveal a message that is subsequently preserved in book form, that's a certain level of revelation. But the greatest of all revelations is God's own self-revelation coming out of hiding, revealing himself to his people. So in the aftermath of the black man and woman in America receiving the greatest of all revelations, has subsequently come a body of divine knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that has been revealed to us in the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and the ministry of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So we wanted to tie together in Ramadan our reading and our study of the old revelation and our reading and our study of the contemporary revelation. We wanted to bring together Prophet Muhammad and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to have the richest, most spiritually powerful experience during the holy month of Ramadan, that we might emerge from Ramadan with the spiritual power, energy, and authority to go back to the mission of the resurrection of the dead, to be able to cast out demons or to remove the presence of evil from the lives of our people. So there's much in that journal that will delight the believer. Every day of this year, April 2nd through May 1st, there's a different article that was published originally by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad on the same month and day in the Muhammad Speaks newspaper. You also have the hadiths of Prophet Muhammad on the subject of Ramadan fasting. And you have so many, I would say, bits and pieces of our nation's history, specifically as you see the nation of Islam and the religion of Islam coming together. You see when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was inducted into an Islamic young men's society in Egypt. You see where the Eastern Muslims, even prior to 1975, acknowledged that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and his followers had made more progress than the immigrant Muslim community. You see how in this year we have what I believe will be the beginning of a much larger work, where we will make an annotated version of the Muslim program that you see on the back page of the Final Call. This year, we only put in it the Muslim program and all of the supporting ayats of the Holy Quran. But going forward, we will put together not only with ayats supporting it from the Quran, but with verses supporting it from the Bible, and along with commentary from the history of our people's struggle in America. So you have that there. I mean, it's rich. You have one of my favorite
beautiful
articles on the history and life of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that was published in the month of May. The last few years, Ramadan has been in May and now in April. And so in May of 1975, Sepia Magazine published a powerful expose of Minister Farrakhan's work in New York City, written by a brother named Sterling X. Hobbs. And he gives to us really very powerful quantitative and qualitative metrics that prove and powerfully document why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad could say that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was a star without equal. When you look and you see what the minister achieved, it should be an inspiration for every minister in the nation, but it should also help us to defend our beloved minister against his critics, many of whom in the YouTube era like to claim Elijah Muhammad but diss Louis Farrakhan. Well, when you read what Brother Sterling wrote about the minister in Sepia in May of 1975, you can say, well, brother, who else as a helper to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad even could come close to the work product of Minister Farrakhan. 18 temples, 5,000 registered believers, really impacting. Even I make an argument in another writing that it was something that Minister Farrakhan said in 1971 in a message calling for a new music based on poetry that was the impetus for the growth of hip hop in the same city, New York, in the early 1970s.
Yes, sir.
So I could go on, but I recommend to those in the listening audience to go to researchminister.com to order the journal. We still have some available in stock, and we can ship it to you right away. And then also, if you don't want to wait for the physical version, just a few days ago, we made the PDF ebook available, so you can get it like right now. So
right now.
you know, I'm very excited about this particular project.
Praise be to Allah. I mean, thank you, Sister Kalila, for showing it, because I'm telling you, I've already gotten rave reviews on it, so I'm on it. I already said I'm getting mine. I know it's a few days into it, but that's okay. I can read up and catch up.
That's right.
So look for it. I'm getting mine.
You know, Brother Dimitri, I'm so happy that you came up with the ebook, because I have the one for 2019, and I was thinking that I could use it for 2020.
Oh, 2022?
Well,
we update it every year. There's some parts that are the same.
I noticed it.
It's new every year.
Listen, because your homegirl in the back, she got all of them, right? So she was like, "Why you got that old book? Why you finna try writing in that old book?" I was like, Mama, don't do that to me. Just don't do that to me. So I'm glad that you
listen to Sister Barbara. She's always got the latest and greatest.
She does.
This happening, Sister Barbara's got it.
Exactly, for real. I'm telling you. And so I'm glad that you did do the ebook, because, like I said, Mom has all the books, but it's so profound because with the ebook, you'll be able to actually catch up with all the volumes that you have.
Yes.
So that's a beautiful segment. Thank you so much for actually creating that for people that don't have all the books like Sister Barbara.
Student Minister Dimitri, there is a question here from our viewing audience. Brother Lewis asks, Assalamu alaikum, will you be doing a print version of the 2021?
Oh, yes. The only year where we didn't have a print version at all was 2020. Every other year since we started, there was a physical edition, and the physical edition comes first. So you can go to the site and get the ebook of 2021 or the print edition of 2021.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah.
Praise.
I'm putting it in the chat too, so this way you don't have to figure out how to get to your website, Brother Dimitri. They can just click on it and take it right there.
Awesome. I appreciate that.
Praise be to Allah. So, family, do we have anything else? This is number one. I'm going to re-listen to our whole podcast, because you dropped so much in this short amount of time.
All praise is due to Allah.
Absolutely our honor. It really was. And I'm going to go back. But I wanted to...
Oh, this is Michelle just freeze?
Yes,
I think so.
She did the freeze.
Preparing for Salat.
You just froze like this.
Right, Brother Dimitri.
Man, that was hilarious.
You just froze like this.
Does anybody have anything additional to ask Brother Dimitri?
Man.
Brother Anthony, do you have a question?
You know what? Not necessarily.
I keep freezing. I don't know what it is.
It was really just I appreciate and thank Allah for being able to just download that information, really, because what I'm gonna do is turn it into something short, to where all the words that were given and the information that people can take home. I want to be able to give it to our next generation and have them, see a shorter video that they may be able to share. But for anybody who is already watching, just try to influence that next generation to be able to tune into these type of things, because that was information that I wouldn't have been able to get from my own personal experience and knowledge. So if you're just looking for to go into somebody that has experience with going through this and coming through a champion, and coming to or closer to Allah, which is what made you a champion in the fight of Islam. It's just very important that we look for the things that qualify us for the positions that we seek.
Praises
be to Allah.
Praises due to Allah.
Brother Dimitri, we have another question here. This is from Sister Maya Santiago. This is my first Ramadan. What do you suggest as a newbie?
Well, just to be patient with yourself is the first thing I would say.
Right.
Because with it being the first Ramadan, and depending upon how strict you may or may not have been in terms of your diet, Ramadan immediately puts us into a mode of great strict dietary habits. And in truth, those of us who strive to practice how to eat to live really should not have the difficult struggle that some of our Muslim family from other communities have, wherein they are coming into a observance of a fast where they cannot drink water, they cannot consume solid food, but under normal circumstances, they may eat 3 meals a day with snacks in between.
Right.
So that kind of brother or sister who has that kind of dietary habit, Ramadan is a great shock to the system.
Right.
But for those of us who have been striving to eat once a day and fasting for 72 hours at the beginning of each month, our monthly 3-day fast, Ramadan doesn't shock us like it may shock our other Muslim family. So be patient with yourself. Don't give up because you may have a good day, then it may be followed by a bad day. Normally, I have learned the first week is the most difficult week because you have to make adjustments in so many areas of your life. So if you can struggle through the first week, the next 3 weeks are pretty easy. From a practical standpoint, it was older believers like your mother, Sister Barbara, and other older sisters and things who taught me many years ago that, because I like most Muslims, love a good cup of coffee in the morning. But they were saying that, really to make it through Ramadan, you need more water in the morning than coffee.
That's right.
Because throughout the day, you might feel a hunger pain, but in truth, it's really dehydration and not hunger. So if you, before the sun or before Fajr, if you can drink as much water as you would like to drink preparation and in anticipation of not being able to consume water during your fast, a lot of times that makes the Ramadan fast a lot easier on the body. So, but the main thing is be patient with yourself and know that Allah rewards even when we take baby steps toward him. Some of us, as we were speaking on nation babies, in the early years, sometimes the children, when they were too young to fast, then we say, well, fast from television or fast from toys or games, or have them to learn how to take a baby step.
That's
Right.
right.
Sometimes we can be a little intimidating with one another with an expectation that a person is going to go from 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds spiritually, you know. But Allah encourages baby steps. I was speaking last night at the mosque, and I reminded the believers that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, when some of his critics from the Orthodox world of Islam would say to him that, well, you all are not real Muslims. You don't make the ritual prayer known as Salat. And one of his responses, because frequently he would just say, well, they don't have my assignment.
That's right.
And one of his responses, he says something that illustrates the point I'm attempting to make. He said that for a so-called Negro to awaken early in the morning and to wash his face and hands and turn to the east, making a dua, it causes the angels in heaven to rejoice.
Teach.
So he was making the point that for my people, their incremental baby steps toward coming back to the way of Allah is applauded and celebrated by God and the angels. So we need to be patient with ourselves as we struggle to come out of an old evil world and its habits and practices into the new world of Allah, God, and his righteousness.
I actually got something just to add to that, dear brother, and it's sort of like advice, but a question as well behind it. When you talk about the progressive stage of experiencing Ramadan, you know, I want to mention to people, you know, our eating habits. What we try to do is bring ourselves to that vegetarian diet that Allah says is the best and the most honorable Elijah Muhammad recommends to us. And from people who eat, you know, you may start off eating pork, and that might be your habit. You know, as a developmental stage for me, I started off. I had to cut out. I already didn't eat pork, but I had to cut out beef first. You know, then I was doing just chicken, and then I became a pescatarian. And through that process, it was a lot easier for me to accept what it means to be a vegetarian, because stage after stage, you are able to perfect that stage. Did you happen to go through any process like that, even, you know, mentally or physically with food when it comes to the month of Ramadan?
Certainly, the big challenge for someone like myself is scheduling.
Right.
Because frequently, in order to get, I don't remember how many books the sister named off done, you have to do what they used to say back years ago of burning the midnight oil.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And when you burn the midnight oil, Fajr is not your friend. So adjusting my schedule to go to bed at an earlier time so that I can be up before Fajr, to have water, to have coffee, because we don't really do a sahur meal if we're eating one meal a day.
Right.
But that's always one of the challenges. So again, making those adjustments, you know, the straight way of Allah is called the Sirat al-Mustaqim. And in the 90th surah, it's described as being uphill.
Uphill.
So we know from those two descriptions that the way of God is both straight and it's at a steep incline. In other words, if you're going to be successful along the journey of traveling the path of God, you have to be prepared.
That's right.
That's right.
Because when the people who have traveled to the summit of Mount Everest, they don't just embark upon that kind of journey, you know, without all of the things that they need along the way. They know they will need a tent. They know they will need food. They know they will need water. They know they will need something to occupy free time. They know they will need that which will protect them from the permafrost kind of conditions at that steep elevation.
Yes.
Well, in the spiritual, we have to also prepare ourselves. We have to make sure we have the things that we need, as well as the mind and the spirit that we need to accomplish something like Ramadan. I saw a beautiful Muslim couple on the internet the other day, and the sister had asked her husband to build her a coffee bar for Ramadan. And he did it, and it was really nice because she was showing in her home how she had, her and her husband, they had literally prepared the home for success in Ramadan, making sure you have prayer rugs, making sure you have a dedicated place to pray, making sure that you have coffee, you have water, making sure that you have maybe an adhan clock to remind you of when it's prayer time, or an app on your phone. You see, so you have and you set your intention to make the fast, but you won't make it if you don't, after setting the intention, prepare yourself with everything you need to make it successful. Whether that is, as in my case, changing my schedule, or in other people's cases, doing whatever you need to do to ensure optimal success during Ramadan. That's what we have to do, whether we are a so-called newbie, as my sister described herself, or we've been in Islam for a number of years.
Right.
Beautiful
Praise
teaching.
Praise be to Allah. Woo. Okay. Okay, Brother Dimitri, it's always hard to land a ship, but or in a good party, right? Or good discussion, I would say. But I will tell you, as we're coming to a close, how grateful really we are. And I know you said it's your pleasure, but it's really ours. It was really to our benefit to have you here. And I know the audience is feeling the same. Just what you bring, the information, the research, the things that you've done, and really are a representation, to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It's amazing. And I'm just so honored that we were able to have you on and to really just tap you just a little bit. And just a little bit, you gave so much. So I just want to thank you. I'll let everybody else do their rounds, and then we'll humbly let you go, and so that you can properly pray and then break your fast. But I had to say that because this has really, really, really been an absolute divine, like the brother said, a divine treat. That's right, Brother Eric, a divine treat. And Brother Jamaica,
My brother Eric.
Yes.
Right, he's
Thank you for
really
making your answers that plain enough for the babies to understand it. So I thank you for such beautiful answers.
All praises due to Allah. It's my great honor and privilege.
Praises be to Allah. And I too want to thank you from the Bahamas family, from the patriot of the house, Sister Barbara. And just I love Islam, and I'm thankful. I too thank Allah for my parents, who was gifted with this knowledge and actually put it in. My mother put it in her womb for me to develop such divine love and dedication and sacrifice. Because now I feel like it's, when I wake up, it's my duty to manifest this word of Islam.
That's right.
And it's only through my mother and my father who actually gifted me, right, through Allah himself, the opportunity to do this type of work, to have this type of beautiful presentation or representation of Islam. So again, I am too also honored, Brother Dimitri. for you just allowing us just to be in your presence. And I know this, you don't like a lot of this fanfare, but I am truly honored. I am definitely a fan. So I just want to
Walaikum salam.
Well, I like it.
All praise is due to Allah.
Can I say you well, the other way around.
yeah.
Me, you know that phrase, me two, me three, now me four. I'm thankful to Allah for you, Brother Dimitri. Thank you for sharing. I knew you were gonna bring it, my brother. I knew you were gonna bring it. We thank
All
you
praise
so
is
much
due to Allah.
for your presence and for you sharing the words that you did here tonight. And if I could also say something to our beloved sister Maya Santiago, at the mosque last night, as I was coordinating the class, we were getting into a discussion about how some of us as the believers, we had some newbies there that are doing Ramadan for the first time. We were discussing that some of us, myself, I wasn't successful in doing the Quranic reading and successfully going through the whole fast for 30 days until 12 years of me being registered in the Nation of Islam. And primarily is because no one taught me how to do it.
That's
And
right.
see, those of us that have gone through those vicissitudes, those difficulties, now we're in a position where we make it easier for the new one coming in.
That's right.
Providing information. We got social media now. We have these platforms where it's a blessing that we are able to guide the new believer, the new practitioner of Ramadan, those that are trying new things out. I need something new in my life. And so now we're providing that newness through these platforms. I'm very thankful to Allah for all of you. And of course, Brother Dimitri, for sharing the words that you did tonight, which were words of guidance. All praise is due to Allah.
Praise.
All praise is due to Allah.
Right.
Beautiful, Brother Tony.
All praise is due to Allah.
Brother Dimitri, we'll let you have some of the last words, and then we promise we will let you go. You want any parting words to the audience?
I am just really filled with gratitude and appreciation, and I'm very thankful for each and every one of you, not only for hosting me on your wonderful platform tonight, but for just being good brothers and sisters in Islam, and to be helpers of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in your respective cities. We are Farrakhan when we come together in righteousness and truth, working the work of him that sent us, keeping our hand on the gospel plow, as it were, to turn over the soil to retrieve our people from the grip of Satan. So my gratitude and appreciation extends to each of you and your families and to all of the believers in the 7th region.
Praises be to Allah. You know, I'm just gonna be honest. Every time I say we are Farrakhan, I be wanting to fight. I don't know why. Everybody, we are. It's that spirit. I don't know.
Well, it is certainly a battle cry of sorts.
It is.
You know,
it is. And I'll be like,
I
yes,
would say it's right behind Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar, talk big. That's right.
That's right. 'Cause you know, when you state that, that's when the devil starts to come full-fledged for you. When you get completely proud and you weed out all the extra influences of negativity, then that's when they really start to go. So you ought to have your dukes up if you say you are Farrakhan, because somebody looking at you. That's
come
right.
on, come on, Brother Anthony. That's right.
Look, bringing it at the end. Go ahead, Brother Anthony. Well, listen, again, Brother Dimitri, thank you so much. Go ahead. We're going to let you go. All praises due to Allah. Inshallah. We'll be following you, by the way. We'll be following you. And please, audience, go get the book. Go get that journal.
That's right.
It's an amazing project that Brother Dimitri has kind of given the believers in the community.
Sister Michelle, there are other wonderful products that
absolutely. It's not just
Not just the journal. You got
No, it's
to
not
No.
just the
go to
journal.
Research Minister.
No.
That's it.
Go to Research Minister. And you'll see such a plethora of work that Brother Demetric has done. In the many of the writings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad from the Pittsburgh Courier, Brother Demetric, and from the New Amsterdam News, you'll find that in the books that Brother Demetric has put out, and there you see other books of guidance that all of us should have. And so I haven't gotten all the books, Brother Demetric, but I'm gonna be saving up some money. I could purchase all of these wonderful books, my brother.
Brother Tony, don't tell my mama that. She gonna say, you don't got Brother Demetric books.
Yes, Sister Barbara might get you, brother.
I'm telling you.
Sister Barbara, as well as Brother Oscar from Winter Haven, were two tremendous supporters of all of us. May Allah be pleased of whatever those of us on the research group or just Nation of Islam authors, period. They've always been some of the greatest supporters. Whatever we did, Brother Oscar would just simply say, just send me 10. You know, he didn't have to. I didn't have to sell him on it. He knew it was going to be in harmony with the messenger and the minister, and he showed his support. And Sister Barbara is similar. Other sisters like Sister Georgina from the Open Mic Line, and there are others who have really helped to be wind beneath our wings, and what is otherwise sometimes a thankless work, because our community is not so much a reading community. We are people that like to watch videos and partake of the cultural forms of expression. So people who write books and people who handle the word oftentimes are in isolation.
Right.
But it is Sister Barbara and other believers like you all that really do wonders for our spirit and our soul, to help us to continue to do what we know we must do and what we have the ability to do. But sometimes a word of encouragement goes a long way.
Praise be
to Allah.
Okay. Well, listen, in fact, I'm just going to say this. I bought The Invincible Truth when you were at Savior's Day. So I've already started. I'm not done yet, but I am reading it. And it's
well,
good.
You know, it's 3 volumes at this point, dear sister.
Yeah,
so
brother,
sure
Michelle, you got to catch up.
You got to play catch up now.
I'm getting there. I'm starting. But
we appreciate your support.
Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. So yes, please, everyone, go like and share. Get Brother Demetric's books. Go to researchminister.com and support. And again, it's nothing but knowledge, nothing but pure knowledge. Get it, ingest it, and share it with a friend. There you go. Sharing is caring, by the way. Okay. So either way, thank you again, Brother Demetric. We are not going to hold you any longer. We are going to let you go so you can partake in what you need to: water, food, prayer, sanity at this point. But no, it's been a pleasure. And we thank you again for being on the platform. Just a pleasure. Anyway, that's all I have for Brother Demetric. I will say no more. And that's it.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, dear brother.
Praise be to Allah. Oh, awesome. That was absolutely awesome.
All praise is due to Allah.
Okay, anyway, I'm excited. Okay, so listen, we're not going to belabor this either. We're going to let everybody go. We want to thank everybody.
We need to go. So Brother Demetric on Central Time. We're on the East Coast here.
Right. Let's end it off. Let's end it off right, Brother Tony. Come on now. Brother Tony, I'm ready to go. But again, before you leave, family, again, we want to thank you all for joining, hanging in there with us. Again, replay, share. It's powerful, and this is absolutely something that you would absolutely need and listen to. You won't get bored. It was a beautiful program, Brother Dimitri, beautiful brother, and we're just happy that we've had this moment during Ramadan. And again, I'm your sister Michelle. I just want to thank everybody for joining. So I'll hand it over. We'll give our little goodbyes for this evening, and then we will close out in a friendly Brother Lau style, and then we will be done. So, Sister Kalila, you can kick it off and then move it around, and then we'll come back.
Praises be to Allah. Shout out to our big brother, Brother Lau, who had a engagement, and it kind of conflicted with the Thursday night talks, which is fine because we always going to hold it down for you, Brother Lau. But I just want to thank our listening audience because you have been so diligently patient with us. You've been listening, you've been absorbing all of this energy, all of this divine guided words. And keep in mind, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is a vessel.
That's right.
And he's pregnant with all sorts of beautiful ideas and people. One of those people is Brother Dimitri. He actually gave birth to that beloved brother, and now he's here to represent our minister. When he brung that phrase, "We are Farrakhan," I promise you, it was like heads off. We Farrakhan. I'm telling you, I was open. Nobody could tell me nothing. I got a white shirt. I got a pink shirt. I got a black shirt. I got all types of shirts that say "We are Farrakhan" with the black fists on it. And I encourage you. I don't know if my brother's on the line, but he sells the shirts. Brother Hashim, he sells the shirts. I'm telling you, they are lit, and they are very MGT made. Okay. So they're very long, and they're very, very modest. So praises be to Allah for that. And again, I'm not going to belabor the point. I'm going to pass it over to my dear brother Tony, so he can give his closing remarks as well. Assalamu alaikum.
Right. Well, there you go. Take it. There you go.
You're happy now. Dear family, keep tuning in. We thank Allah for Brother Dimitri. We thank for all of you that have tuned in and have supported us as 7th Region Coalition to Help Save Lives as we continue to strive to guide our people to safety in this very treacherous hour, this very troubling hour in which our people are suffering so much. But all of us are vessels that are meant to bring about a better day for our people. Keep tuning in. Continue to receive guidance, and we hope and pray that we can be those kind of vessels that could help guide and steer our people in the right direction. Very, very, very thankful, family. And blessed Ramadan to all who are observing the fast. And even if you're mildly observing the fast, we're very thankful for you for at least trying it with us. As a community, it bonds us and it helps us grow stronger together. So just continue doing the very best that you can on the fast as we ourselves are striving for unity. And Brother Anthony, I turn it over to you, my brother.
Yes, sir. So I just want to say Assalamu alaikum, family. In Ramadan Mubarak to anybody who is practicing Ramadan this month. And I want to further just thank the student regional minister, Patrick Muhammad, for allowing me in my 3rd year of being in the Nation of Islam to be amongst a page of people who he trusts to secure his word and gifting it to the people with the help of Allah. And if you all will want to just see who I am, if you don't know me, you can follow Brain Food TV.
That's right.
That's right, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And I just do my best out of the love of my heart for my people and my yearning to see us unify and come together and be what God made us to be. I just want to have you all show give 100% support as we give support to these musical artists who degrade our people. The same support that we give to Walmart, let's go and give to Black-owned businesses, and let's just keep up the spirit of enlightening our people. So I just thank Allah for the opportunity to be among you all on this platform.
Praise be to Allah. So I'm gonna do like a brother Loud. We not a clique. We not a gang. You said
That's
Epic fail.
but I can do the fingers though. I can do this though. I can do that though.
Leave it to Brother Lau.
It's been a beautiful evening,
Tribute
family.
to Brother Lau.
Assalamu alaikum. Love you all. See you next Thursday. Ramadan
Yeah.
Mubarak.